Hello, I'm pleased to explain the criteria for the Valedictorian Award. The Department of Kinesiology and Health Sciences Valedictorian mirrors the criteria used by the Emma Eccles Jones College of Education and Human Services and the Utah State University as a whole. Students nominated as the valedictorians for their departments and colleges meet the highest academic standards. Students must have the highest USU GPA in their department and meet a 3.5 GPA minimum. Greater consideration is given to students who are completing their first bachelor's degree, students who have a greater number of letter-graded credits earned at USU with a minimum of 60 credits, and students who will be attending the graduation ceremony. Congratulations to this year's valedictorian recipient.
Hey, I'm Ellie Matsen, and I will be walking this May to receive my degree in exercise science. One thing that I've loved about this department is the hands-on labs that we were able to do and the professors that guided them. I was working with an occupational therapist to receive exposure to that field, but I've recently made the switch over to the technology enablement world, so I'm excited to see what the future holds. Thanks so much for this honor and award.
The recipient of the Salutatorian Award must meet the same initial criteria as the recipient of the Valedictorian Award. Once the recipient for valedictorian is determined, there still may be more than one or two, in fact, even several high-achieving students who would then be considered for Salutatorian Award. If all candidates have met the initial criteria, additional criteria are considered to narrow the choice down to only one student. For example, greater consideration is given to students who have a lower number of repeated courses. Also, students who have a lower number of pass-fail option courses that are given greater consideration. Students who have a lower number of transfer credits, students who have earned higher quality transfer credits, and so on, are each given greater consideration for the Salutatorian Award. Congratulations to this year's Salutatorian recipient.
I'm Kendyl Nelson, and I'll be graduating this spring in kinesiology with an emphasis in pre-physical therapy. And I think my favorite part of this program has been getting to know all the students and faculty so well and learning things that will actually apply to my future career. And in June, I'll start physical therapy school down in St. George through an extension program through the University of Utah, and I'm honored to receive this award.
A top scholar is selected as one outstanding senior for each of the 3 majors and 5 concentrations in the department. Like the valedictorian and salutatorian recipients, the outstanding senior recipients must also meet the initial criteria, that is, they must have the highest USU GPA in their major and/or emphasis after the selection of the valedictorian and salutatorian. They must meet a minimum USU GPA of 3.5 with at least 60 credits earned in residence at Utah State University. If there is more than one student who meets this criteria, additional criteria are considered to narrow the choice. Students who are selected for any of these awards are certainly well-deserving. They have been chosen from a very large competitive group of students graduating this year in the Kinesiology and Health Science Department. Congratulations to this year's top scholar recipients.
Ashley Brown, and I just recently graduated from the Recreation Administration program, and I was able to win the Outstanding Senior Award. My favorite part about the Recreation Administration program, I think, would be the professors. I felt like all the professors I worked with really took the time to get to know me and figured out my career goals so that they could help me form a path. And some of my career goals would include staying where I am right now. So I was really lucky to get a position within the Outdoor Programs Department at Utah State. And I'm hoping to stay in the campus recreation environment and maybe one day run my own outdoor programs department or my own campus rec department. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much. And I am so grateful that I got this award, and I'm grateful that I was able to be a part of the rec admin major.
I got accepted into a program at Weaver State for ultrasound sonography, so medical sonography. I start in August, and I'm doing my clinicals at Logan Regional, so it's awesome. I love to learn, and so if I'm not learning, I feel like I'm behind, so I stay on top of things. I have my planner, and I follow like an hourly schedule, and I've always been that way.
I think my favorite part about being an Aggie was the relationships that I built. People in my classes were always just super friendly. My professors were awesome. I can still reach out to my professors that I've had there, and they would have my back for anything that I needed. So I think Number one was just the relationships that I created, and the people that I met were just amazing. For community health, that is something that I'm super passionate about. I love helping people. I love anything that has to do with health. And I think it's kind of funny because I tell people what I majored in and they're like, oh, so it's like working out. And I was like, no, it's so much more. And that is something that I learned over the years, is that it's mental health. It's what you eat. It's, it is physical too, but my knowledge in those areas increased tremendously. And I can apply that to my own life while teaching others and helping others. And that was just something that I loved.
I have had some pretty outstanding professors throughout my program, but the biggest difference for me when I was choosing majors was the real life application that I could be able to get through a kinesiology degree. There's a lot of projects and labs that are really engaging. The hands-on experience is awesome, and I feel like it's really relevant to myself and to others. Those projects I got to do in my upper level classes, I was able to generalize not only to myself, but be able to apply and teach those to friends, to family, to roommates. And so it was really awesome to be able to take that, and I know I'll be able to apply these kind of topics in my career as well. I start PA school in May through the University of Utah, so I get to participate in that program. It'll be 24 months, and afterwards I'm hoping to be able to get a job in emergency medicine and trauma, or potentially in a sports med orthopedic capacity as well.
Some of the things that I really enjoyed about the program and about the department was the opportunity to really apply the things that we were learning in class through laboratory experiences, and then through the professors as well, being so knowledgeable in the material that they were teaching, and everything that we were taught in class directly related to an activity or a test that we would do in labs, so that we could really see how it was done in the real world and how we could apply it into whatever field we were going into. I also really liked how there were classes that were set aside for you to go out and get an internship and get that experience outside of the class that you might not be able to in other programs or in other departments. Since I've graduated in December, I have applied to and been accepted to physical therapy school, and so I'll be attending the University of Iowa, their physical therapy program, and I'll be graduating from there in the winter of 2024, and then after that just continue to practice and use the things that I've learned and be a physical therapist.
I really enjoyed being in the KHS department. I think one of my favorite things is what everyone hopes for when they go to college, is being able to take classes that interest me and that are really fun to learn about. And so even though they're challenging, it was super fun to learn about things like anatomical kinesiology and exercise physiology. And so those are probably some of my favorite parts about being in the program. As far as what's ahead of me, I am hoping to get a job in the field in these next few years and kind of build up my resume and gain more experience as a PE teacher and as a health teacher.
We greatly appreciate you coming to our program and being a part of the program, and congratulate you.